One day in Archetypia, a young antihero set off in search of the Great MacGuffin. He was walking down the street when he came upon 3 fellow Archetypians, a geek, a jock, and a tomboy. The geek said, "I want the Great MacGuffin to make me even smarter." The jock said,
"I want the Great MacGuffin to make me the fastest athlete in the world."
The tomboy said,
"I don't really want the Great MacGuffin to do anything for me, I just thought it'd be fun."
The antihero shrugged and said,
"I don't really care what you do. I'm going whether you all come or not."
With this all settled, the 4 Archetypians set off together in search of the Great MacGuffin. After many miles of travel, the 4 Archetypians saw a dark cloud up the road. A tall man in a dark cape stood looming over the path.
"And just where do you think you're going?"
the supervillain said. Without thinking, the jock answered that they were looking for the Great MacGuffin.
"Don't tell him,"
said the tomboy in dismay. The supervillain laughed evilly. He opened his cape and fire surrounded him. The antihero's jaw dropped. The jock flexed and moved into a defensive position, and the tomboy prepared herself for a fight. The antihero heard a faint scream and turned to see the geek already 50 yards off, running like his pants were on fire. The antihero looked from the jock and the tomboy to the supervillain, and then he shrugged and walked away.
"Have fun with that," he said.
About 5 minutes after he left the others, the antihero came upon a man in a silver robe.
"Who are you?"
the antihero asked rather impolitely.
"They call me the Deus Ex Machina,"
the elder gentleman said.
"Aren't you the antihero who just abandoned his friends?" "I didn't want to deal with that supervillain guy," said the antihero. "Well, now your friends have all been captured," Machina told him. "What am I supposed to do about it?" asked the antihero. "You look pretty powerful, why don't you save them?" "I could," said Machina, "but it wouldn't be very good for the plot." "So?" the antihero said. "All right, I'll help them," sighed Deus Ex Machina. "But just this once. Eventually you'll have to develop out of this phase and start helping people yourself, you know."
The antihero rolled his eyes as the old man flew off to help the other 3 Archetypians. A few minutes later, the antihero followed him to where the supervillain had been, and as he expected, Deus Ex Machina had delivered the others from their dreadful situation. The 4 Archetypians thanked him and then continued on their way to find the Great MacGuffin.